Ooh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back, you guys. This is going to be a part two. I'm doing the review of the Cynthia. I mean, as I'm doing part two of the Carlos King and Nene Leakes interview. Okay. I actually had a phone call that came in. I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, but someone called me and messed up my sound. So now I am going back into my second video. So go ahead and please join this video again. This is part two of the Carlos King and Nene Leakes interview. My apologies to those of you that had to be dropped off. I know what happened. Like I said, I got a phone call and it kind of messed up the sound. So I'm doing a part two of the video. So my apologies. Thank you guys for coming back. I got a phone call out of the blue and I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, but apparently I took it off today while I was at work. My apologies, but we are back. This is going to be a part two of the video of the Carlos King and Nene Leakes interview. Okay. We stopped off, and let me go back and do my disclaimer again for part two. Everything said in the video is alleged in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Okay, this is the review of Carlos King and Nene Leakes interview, you guys. We stopped off talking about where we were talking about Nene was actually talking about how Cynthia really had this very in-your-face attitude and how she used to check Peter Thomas, her then husband, and cuss him out and put him in his place, and that Cynthia was not the same person that we all saw her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, that she was this very in-your-face individual. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Nene also goes on to say that she was more connected to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She says that it was her baby, and that certain people coming on the show, you guys, okay, she said that certain people coming on the show made her feel a certain type of way. She didn't like that Phaedra was coming on there. She didn't feel that Phaedra was a good fit. We talked about that, and she wondered why she was actually considered to be on the show. Again, I liked her on the show. Nene says the Real Housewives of Atlanta actually was a privilege to be on her show. And that certain people didn't deserve to be on the show. Again, she was talking about Phaedra being on the show. I don't know why she has such an issue with Phaedra. Carlos then asked Nene, she said that Carlos goes on to say that Nene and Greg gave a lot to the show, you guys. I like Greg on the show. I can't say anything negative about Greg. I like Greg. He was funny as hell. He always he would get you together too, if he needed to. Let's see. So he says that, do you regret, Carlos asked Nene, do you regret putting your family on the show? Nene says that she regrets disciplining her son, Bryson, on the show. Y'all remember when she fussed him out when Greg and Nene was fussing at Bryson, saying that when you get your mind back, then call me. You done lost your mind. Y'all remember when he was acting up. She also says that he was very hurt by her snapping off on him on national television because it was very embarrassing for him. Well, now looking back on it, I think that she feels like that might have been the best thing for him, being that he is in the situation that he is in right now. Okay, so she says that she does regret disciplining him on national television in front of the cameras, that now looking back, she feels like it's something that maybe she should have done behind the cameras. But he obviously did need that bit of disciplining on camera. Maybe not on camera. I don't agree with people embarrassing their kids on camera like that, but to each his own. Nene goes on to say that she will never find anyone else like Greg, and that she feels that she immaculated Greg in many ways on the show because of her mouth. Y'all know that as the show started to grow, Nene became a bigger star. Nene really, I don't think that she really respected Greg in his position as her husband. I feel like she felt that she was bigger than Greg because she was making all the money now, and she didn't feel like she had to answer to him. All right. Nene also goes on to say that Greg was very old school, and that she kind of took his role as the provider from him, and that was a huge problem in their household. Okay, she says that she took roles from him as the husband and as the head of the household. She said back then that she would allow him to like change light bulbs and do things that men do. She would just do that, which kind of made him feel like he had nothing to actually offer as the husband. Okay, so Carlos then says that when women make more money than men, that emasculates them. And Y'all, he tried to pull that same thing with Mel. Y'all remember that at the reunion when he said that, saying that, Melody, do you feel like you try to emasculate Martell because you make more money than him and because you feel like you the star and blah 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 blah. I don't know what kind of home life Carlos grew up in, but he feels like that's always the go-to with women. You can still make more money than your husband and still respect him. I don't feel like that's what it is. I just think that it's the person and how they see it. You can't judge all women to say that just because a woman makes more money than a man, that it automatically makes him feel emasculated. No, some men don't mind that. Some men don't mind the fact that their women make more money. It just so happens that the women that's on your platforms, the men on the platforms of the husbands of the women on your platform, they have a problem with it. Martell had a problem with Melody being the star, making more money, and being the brains of everything. Okay. Also with Nene, maybe Greg over time started to feel a way because Nene was that girl. Okay, that's just how it is. Everybody don't feel that way. Some husbands don't mind their wives making more money. They just don't. As long as the bills are getting paid, as long as things are done how they need to be done on the financial end, it is what it is. It's coming into the same house. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours. That's how you should look at it. Who cares who brings it in the house? As long as your car, your house, and everything that you need is paid for, who cares who brings it in the house? That's some ego bullshit. I don't like that. He tried to pull that mess at the reunion with Mel and Martell. I just thought that was so out of pocket of him. So Carlos says that people assume that Nene was very famous, rich, and when she finalized her divorce from Greg, that she was, Nene says that she was very sad and that she was very hurt behind that. But you initiated that, Nene, and I feel like she divorced Greg. She said it to prove a point to Greg because he didn't think that she would do it. I feel like she divorced Greg because she was making all this money and she knew that she was starting to become this person, become this this huge money maker. She was making millions by this time. Nene was trying to protect the bag, and she was afraid that if something went left, that she was gonna wind up giving Greg all this money. So she divorced Greg and would not remarry Greg unless he signed the prenup. Y'all remember that? Because they had that whole wedding special, and Greg felt a whole way about Nene asking him to sign the prenup in order for them to get married. Because she told him right there verbatim, and I'll repeat what she said. She said, we're not getting married unless he signs that prenup. So she was standing on the fact that even after Greg done took care of you all these years, Nene used to be an exotic dancer. Greg used to come to the same club that Nene used to dance at. Greg actually took Nene off the pole, took care of her. Nene had a son at the time that wasn't even Greg's, that he took care of and helped raise. And took care of Nene until she got on this damn show and started making money. She started feeling herself, and she felt like she was the boss. She felt like she was the man and the woman in the damn relationship. So then she didn't want to have to share her money or have Greg be able to tell her how to spend her money because she was feeling herself. And she says that whenever she filed for divorce, he didn't think she was going to do it. But once he received the papers from her and he realized that she was serious about it, Nene says that Greg said to her, you bitch, you really divorced me? Like, bitch, after everything that I've done for you and your son, when you were struggling to have to degrade yourself on a pole, I took care of you and your son and took you in to where you did not have to keep doing that. And then you turn around and tell me you cannot be my husband unless you sign right here on the dotted line when he never made you sign anything? I just totally did not like that. Greg looked so deflated on that wedding special that they had. And I promise you, he did not sign the prenup until it was damn near hours before the wedding. That's just how much he did not want to sign it. And I don't feel like she should have pressured him and pushed him into doing that because she knows that he loved her. She knows that he would have given her anything. But because she was feeling herself and because she was trying to protect her money, which is how she saw it. When you married, everything that you own belongs to him as well. You're one. Nene did not see herself as being one with Greg. Once she became famous and started making her own money, period. Okay. So Nene also goes on to say that that she divorced Greg. She says that she divorced Greg to teach him, like I said, a lesson. All right. And Greg was very upset about that. But she said she would never, ever in life find anybody else like Greg. And I don't think she will either. It's not a lot of men out there that would take on a woman and their child and take care of you and take you off the pole to where you ain't got to work. And he's doing all the work and solely taking care of you so that you can take care of your son. It's not a lot of men out there nowadays that would do that. So, of course, you guys know, during the time that she and Greg did their little divorce, Nene started seeing, y'all remember the white guy named John that she started dating? She says that that he actually called her and asked her about Bryson right before she did the interview with Carlos King. She says she still has the Rolex that he bought her during the time that they were dating. She also says that he actually offered to pay for Bryson to go to rehab once he get out of jail, and somewhere in New York to some undisclosed rehab place. And she said that she was going to allow him to do that. She said, I might have to go on a date with him because he's doing that. She also said that Lamar Odom reached out to her and offered some type of rehab program that he actually has started up as well to help her with Bryson. I think that's very admirable for him to do that. So Carlos King then says that it's nothing like dating when you have money. Okay, Nene says, yes, it is. She was like, you know, it's nothing like dating when you have money. She says that most men want me. She was trying to be, you know, her usual Nene self. Carlos was saying that he hopes that Nene just has a whole phase. He wants her to go out and just have a whole phase in her life. I'm just like, what? Ain't nobody trying to have no whole phases. You know what's out there now? Tell that to Martell. That's probably what he told Martell. Martell, now that you a male or divorced, you should have a whole phase. Moving on though. Nene says that she has always been in a relationship versus just dating, that she really doesn't like dating. She wants to be in a relationship because that's all she's known. She said before Greg, she's had boyfriends where she was in actual relationships. Then she got with Greg. Once again, she was in a relationship. Then she got with this white guy after she, you know, kind of got away from Greg, and they were in a relationship. And then when she got with this married guy, they were also in a relationship, even though he lied to her. But she says that the white guy, John, spent all this money on her, and she was able to spend money just out of the blue as much as she wanted, and he never missed that money. So that's what she liked about him, the fact that he spoiled her and spent money, and she never had to spend her own. Carlos then says to Nene, says that Nene actually iced him out and closed the door in his face at their wedding special, and that they actually had a back and forth and a knockdown drag out. He says he actually fell away, and he actually started crying when Nene did that to him. And she was just saying that at the time that she was just very frustrated. She was angry. This is when she got back with Greg, and she and Greg were getting ready to get married. She said she needed a moment to herself to kind of think, because the cameras had been in her face all day. But Carlos King, being the softy that he is, was somewhere crying because Nene won't all up his ass. All right. So Carlos then goes on to say that people says that your, what is it? Oh, that says that your line, close your legs to married men, but you were dating a married man yourself. What do you have to say about that? Nene says that he, meaning Nia Seller, the married man that she was dating, is now divorced. See how she skipped over that? But told her that he was separated during the time that she met him, okay? She says that he was actually living in his own place, that he was not living with his wife, so she believed him when he said that they were separated. She said that she didn't meet him before Greg passed, but she met him 2 months after Greg passed, and that is when she started dating him 2 months after Greg passed. Nene also goes on to say that Nia Seller kind of kept her going after Greg died because she was in a very sunken place, so he kind of kept her alive and got her out of the house to go travel and do things. So she was happy to be around him, but she was never in love with him. According to Carlos, when he asked her, were you ever in love with him? She says no, that they would just have pretty much just together and having fun. She loved being around him, but she was never in love with him, okay? And she just says that that's pretty much what it was, that she didn't feel like she took nobody's husband because he told her that he was separated. And I totally disagree with that, because people were telling her, I remember she did a live when she was in the car with him, and people was asking her, what do you think about what people are saying about you being with a married man? And this is during the time that the man's wife sued Nene. Y'all remember that? Because I did a live about it where the wife actually sued Nene for alienation of affection. Because y'all know she live in Charlotte. Nia Seller, which is the husband, had moved to Atlanta, and that's when he met Nene. Nene was dating him during this time. He was still legally married to the wife. She was trying to get back with him. She was saying they were trying to reconcile, and she didn't even know that he was seeing anybody else until she saw social media pictures of Nene and him out and about on the town. So Nene was getting two separate stories, and the wife was as well, it seems like. But she was just kind of like laughing it up. She thought that it was funny. being with this man, knowing that he was still married and that the wife still wanted to be with him. So he was lying to Nene when he told her that he was not married and that he was separated. He actually was not separated. He was still married legally. So, yeah, Carlos kind of went in on her about the whole close your legs to married men when she was actually seeing a married man, which now, if you guys don't know, that they are broken up now. She is no longer with him. She says that they are still friends, but they're no longer together. So it's looking like she's single now. And it's looking like that Carlos, I feel like he's probably going to create another show to try to get Nene back out there in terms of her being back on reality TV again, because it looks like that's something that she wants to do. And I think she's really burned her bridge with Bravo. They don't want her back. So we'll see what it's giving. I would love to see her back on the show, even though she's very narcissistic and anal. She is good for TV. You can't deny that. Nene is good for TV. People will tune in to see Nene on a television show, okay? But that's pretty much all I gathered from it. I don't really want to talk you guys head off about Nene anymore. But thank you guys for joining the video. Please like the video if you did not. This is the pop-in video for today. All right. If you did not hit the like on your way in, please hit it on your way out. Thank you, Moz, for doing such a great job, per usual, of keeping the trolling down. And thank you, subscribers, for coming over and spending a part of your day with me for the second time today. All right. Thank you guys so much. All right. Thank you for any cash apps. Thank you for any super stickers and super chats. All right. Love you guys all the way down. And thank y'all so much for your support. I always say that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You don't have to support me, and you do. And I try to give you guys great content so that you can keep coming back. And I'm going to continue to do that and keep my word of not going back and forth with people and addressing BS. We're going to talk about content here, because I know that's what you guys want to hear. We're going to be grown about our ish over here. Okay. Yes. So thank you guys for joining. Yes, it's a great job as always, Caramel. I appreciate it. Let me take my glasses. I can take my glasses off now. Y'all can see my eyes for once. I'm sitting up in here like Ray Charles. So thank you guys for joining. All right. And we're going to get on out of here. Love you guys down, and goodbye.